I'm deeply honored to be invited and to officiate in tonight's opening of this unique exhibition on Kamunaga, a story of the Tabua. As you've just heard from Professor Stephen Hooper, or Sitiveni as he prefers to be called, I had the privilege of visiting the United Kingdom in October last year to open the largest and perhaps the most comprehensive exhibition on Fijian art and culture artifacts to date. I was pleasantly surprised and certainly enthralled by the magnificent collection of traditional Fijian artifacts, some of which dated back to the 18th century. Very impressive. Extensive collection of our artifacts. I was equally impressed with the curatorial skills of Professor Sitiveni and his team, which included Dr. Karen Jacobs and Ms. Katrina Inglis, and I believe they were here recently. But anyway, Professor, welcome back, Mrs. Hooper. So nice to see you all again, and your son. The combination of traditional and modern artifacts from various museums and personal collections throughout the United Kingdom and from New Zealand and Fiji succinctly and eloquently presented Fiji's history and her people in that exhibition. I can imagine the amount of effort and resources put into that particular exhibition, and well done and thank you. In fact, Fiji has been the main beneficiary of such an effort, as the exhibition not only rekindled Her Majesty the Queen's intimate interest in Fiji, but it also helped promote Fiji in Europe. And I believe that it was her first official engagement, because she was not very well over the Christmas New Year period. I'm so happy to see Her Majesty grace the exhibition with her presence. I understand that thousands of people visited the exhibition over the 4 months from October last year to February this year. And these are important results, as Fiji is now taking on major leadership roles in the international community, such as being president of the 71st session of the United Nations General Assembly, and among others, as incoming president of COP23. What was also very important about the exhibition in Norwich was that Professor Sitiveni and his team were able to put together a comprehensive publication entitled Fiji, Art and Life in the Pacific, which I am sure many here would have seen and read. If you haven't got a copy, I'm sure you know there are spare copies around. I would strongly urge and encourage people to read them. I'm confident that the exhibition helped all the visitors to know more about Fiji. I say this because many people I've met in many of my travels around the region and the world do not know much about Fiji. Often I've been told, and some even associate Fiji with Mount Fuji in Japan. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that we are exceptionally fortunate that Professor Sitiveni and his team have continued to take a keen interest in Fiji, and especially in the Fiji Museum. The exhibition on Kamunaga, a story of Tabua, that we will see tonight is the culmination of ongoing collaboration between the Sainsbury Centre for Visual Arts that Professor Sitiveni leads, the British-based Humanities Research Council, and both the Fiji Museum and the Itaukei Trust Fund. I shall come back to this shortly, because I wish to say that I'm very pleased that Fiji's College of Honor chose to recognize Professor Sitiveni's contribution to Fiji over a span of almost 5 decades by awarding him with the Office of the Order of Fiji recently. Congratulations. Well deserved. In my additional capacity as the Chancellor of the Order of Fiji, I look forward to the recognition of those who have Fiji at heart and who choose to actively promote Fiji and Fijian interests everywhere. This is part of the culture of appreciation that Fiji's College of Honor is now nurturing. I'm also thankful that many friends of the Fiji Museum are here tonight, because we can all use this convergence as a platform to exchange views and ideas on the relevance of the work of the Fiji Museum and the importance of the national heirloom collection it now holds. I appreciate that this exhibition is focused on an important yau for the Itaukei people of Fiji. Because as Fiji's president and head of state with a mandate to play a unifying role throughout the country, I look forward to future exhibitions where we could display artifacts of similarly important value to our diverse cultures that are now part of the new Fiji. I know, for instance, that the Fiji Museum has a collection of items that the Fijians of Indian descent brought when they first arrived in the country over a century ago. I look forward to an equally informative exhibition on those items. As I'm sure we all do, the artifacts from all other ethnic groups in Fiji. Ladies and gentlemen, as you have heard this evening, the Tabua, which has profound ceremonial and aesthetic value to the Itaukei, embodies many things and manifested in many ways to all of us. This special exhibition on the Kamunaga is sure to provide numerous benefits to the Fijian public and visitors from abroad. The objects on display and associated stories on the Tabua will invoke self-realization for the young Itaukei to appreciate and recognize the significance, value, and importance of the Kamunaga. The exhibition will provide an opportune space for storytelling, maximizing on the transmission of knowledge between generations of Fijians and fostering an appreciation of local history and culture. Celebrating an episode of Indigenous history through information displayed regarding the Tabua, the narratives of the objects on display present personal experiences, keeping the visitor captivated. I'm sure it's going to happen. The Kamunaga, being a collective valuable item, will certainly ensure engagement of local communities and the general public alike. It is the stories of the Itaukei, which will be displayed, strengthening existing Vanua relations and building on traditional epistemology. Over the years, a vacuum existed between communities and museums, and I hope that the Fiji Museum is addressing this gap to facilitate greater community participation. The Kamunaga exhibition serves as an important platform that will enhance this thinking. The exhibition will correct the numerous misconceptions about the Tabua and its uses, including grappling with the issue of fake Tabua, which was mentioned by Dr. Tamata. A contentious, yet a real concern facing today's traditional and modern economy. The exhibition will serve as a conversation space, and last but not least, the Kamunaga exhibition will serve as a classroom on this important subject, encouraging students and young people alike to be critical thinkers. Ladies and gentlemen, I have no doubt that this particular display will enhance our own knowledge and understanding about the Kamunaga. It is also a blessing that this exhibition is held after the recent repatriation of more than 140 Tabua that were confiscated by the New Zealand border authorities over the last 15 years. Last month's handing over ceremony, officiated by the Honourable Prime Minister and the New Zealand High Commissioner to Fiji, was in fact a rare and a very special occasion. Previously, Tabua and other items seized by customs officials in New Zealand and other parts of the world were simply discarded and disposed of. But in the recent gesture by the New Zealand government to return the Tabua collected over the past 15 years reflects the desire to renew and strengthen the cultural and historical links between our two nations. This bears testimony to the appreciation and respect accorded to cultural values that have profound meaning to the owners of such items, in this case, the Itaukei. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that tonight's exhibition will also be a good platform to help promote the work of the Fiji Museum. In saying this, I appeal to all the stakeholders to seriously invest in upgrading the Fiji Museum. Okay? You have our support. While Fiji increasingly plays a leading role in the international community, there is a corresponding and urgent need for us as a nation to appropriately capture our history. Unfortunately, I'm aware that the Fiji Museum has been neglected over the past decades to the extent that many of the historical artifacts either are in a dilapidated condition or are missing. We need to address that. I hope that this exhibition and others to come later will bring some focus and attention on the need to properly maintain the Fiji Museum and all artifacts that have a significant tangible and intangible value to all of us. I wish to acknowledge and commend the Fiji Museum and the Itaukei Trust Fund for collaborating to educate the Fijian public and the world, for that matter, on this important subject of the Tabua. I also thank the Arts and Humanities Research Council and the Fijian Art Research Project for assisting with this exhibition. Well done, Nawale. It is also encouraging to note the partnerships established between various individuals, the private sector, and government institutions. For indeed, this joint and holistic effort is crucial to preserving our respective cultural identity and enhancing Fiji's aim to be a progressive and knowledge-based society. I trust that you will all enjoy this exhibition, and I encourage you all to invite your families and friends to visit the exhibition and to support the Fiji Museum. It now gives me great pleasure to launch the exhibition on Kamunaga, a story of Tabua. Nawalevu, may God bless you all. Bless our beloved nation, Fiji.